Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the University of Adelaide graduation ceremony. This morning's ceremony is for the graduates of the Faculty of Arts and the Faculty of Health and Medical Sciences. The ceremony will commence shortly. The university has a contract photographer to provide photography services during the ceremony. If you wish to take photos, I would ask that you do so discreetly from your seat, and please do not use your flash. To maintain the ceremony's sense of occasion, please switch off your mobile phones. In the case of an emergency, please follow the direction of staff members. The emergency assembly point is the Goodman Crescent Lawns on the western side of Benithan Hall, and the evacuation plan can be found on page 9 of your program. For safety reasons, guests are not to enter the galleries upstairs, and please do not sit on the steps in the balcony area. Thank you and enjoy the ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, the academic procession is about to enter the hall. We will be singing the national anthem. The words are on page 11 of the program. Please now stand for the academic procession and remain standing for the national anthem.
I, Catherine Branson, Chancellor of the University of Adelaide, declare open this congregation, convened for the purpose of presenting degrees. Distinguished guests, parents, relatives, friends, most particularly those of you graduating today, welcome to this graduation ceremony of the University of Adelaide. Gana Miana, Gana Yata, Nadlu Thumbindi. In English, we recognise we're on Kaurna land. We acknowledge the Kaurna people, past and present, the original custodians of the Adelaide Plains, and thus of the land on which the University of Adelaide's campuses are built. We acknowledge the Kaurna people's ongoing spiritual connection to this beautiful land. Graduates, your graduation is an event in which you can take great pride, as I know your family and friends do. The University of Adelaide also takes considerable pride in your success while you've been with us. Graduation Day is an opportunity, you might think, to reflect a little, to think about what brought you here, and to think where your future will take you. Whatever that future is, wherever it takes you, I'm confident that the knowledge you've learned here, the skills that you've acquired in your years at the University of Adelaide, will stand you in good stead, not just in your working, your professional life, but in all aspects of your life. I now call on the Vice Chancellor and President, Professor Peter Hoy, to present the candidate for an honorary degree.
Chancellor, it gives me great pleasure to present to you an outstanding candidate for admission to the honorary degree of Doctor of the University Honoris Causa, Moya Dodd. A practicing lawyer and former international women's footballer with the Australian national soccer team, the Matildas, Ms. Dodd has used her considerable sports experience and professional expertise to further the cause of women's sport and the role of sport in building community, both in Australia and on the world stage. Ms. Dodd completed her Bachelor of Laws with honours at the University of Adelaide in 1987, at the same time advancing her career in soccer. At the age of 21, she was playing for Australia's national team, soon taking on the vice captaincy. She competed in 24 international matches, including the first ever FIFA World Tournament for women in 1988, before hanging up her boots. Becoming active beyond the pitch, she used her expertise to champion change in sport. She joined the board of Football Federation Australia, FFA, in 2007 and served as a director for 10 years. In 2013, she was one of the first 3 women appointed to the Executive Committee of FIFA, the international 27-member body which governs football. In that role, she advocated for reform, such as more inclusion for women in decision-making, more investment in the women's game, and changing the rules to allow women to play while wearing the hijab. She led the #WomenInFIFA campaign, and her efforts were rewarded with gender reforms to the FIFA statutes, such as requirements for women on boards and adding women's inclusion to FIFA's statutory objectives. She also advocated for ethics and human rights reforms and was one of only 3 members of a committee of 27 to decline a $29,000 gift watch. She has worked as a judge's associate at the Supreme Court of South Australia in private practice, in-house legal roles, and in commercial and consulting roles in the media and telecommunications industries. Today, Ms. Dodd is a partner in law firm Gilbert and Tobin Lawyers. In 2016, Ms. Dodd was named the overall winner of the Australian Financial Review and Westpac 100 Women of Influence Awards. And in 2018, she was named the 7th most powerful woman in international sport by Forbes magazine. Ms. Dodd is a member of the International Council of Arbitration of Sport, FIFA's Player Status Committee, and the International Olympic Committee's Athletes Entourage Commission. She's also chair of Common Goal, a global not-for-profit that, through the medium of soccer, supports the UN Sustainable Development Goals. She's also director of Barefoot to Boots, an Australian private NGO working to support refugees, and a director for the Geneva-based Centre for Sport and Human Rights. Ms. Dodd has combined her passion for soccer with her knowledge of law and good governance to influence positive change. Today, we acknowledge her career commitment to equality for women in sport and for the role of sport in building opportunities and communities globally. Chancellor, I'm pleased to present to you Moya Dodd, Bachelor of Laws Honours, Executive Master of Business Administration, for admission to the honorary degree of Doctor of the University, honoris causa.
I'm delighted to introduce today's graduation orator. It is, of course, Dr. Moya Dodd.
Good morning. Chancellor, the Honourable Catherine Branson, AC QC, Vice-Chancellor, Professor Peter Hoy, AC, distinguished guests, families, members of staff, and of course, graduates. It's a great pleasure to be with you here today for your graduation. The last time I was in this building, I was being tortured during a 3-hour law exam, so I'm hoping it's a much more pleasant experience for you today, especially the graduates. This special day, May the 4th, 2021. I have to confess this is my first graduation ceremony. I have a slight aversion to ceremonies, especially those involving outfits. Obviously you don't, so that's good. Well done you. So when I got the very kind letter from the university, I of course went scurrying to the internet to discover what exactly was involved with an honorary doctorate. And what I found relieved me greatly, because I learned that in fact I'll be in very prestigious company, that no less a muppet than Kermit the Frog himself is the recipient of an honorary doctorate, although sadly not from this university. So I decided that if the university wanted to elevate me to the status of a muppet, then I should indeed cooperate in every way possible. So here I am, a slightly diminutive figure, standing before you, dressed in soft, colourful clothing, and about to impart my frog-like wisdom to you, all the way from the swamp to this ceremony. But of course, it's not about me, it's about you, the graduating students of the University of Adelaide, no longer being a tadpole and graduating into life on high ground. So there are a few things I want to tell you about life on high ground. First, things can always be better. Make them better. We have big challenges here on high ground, and we will need all of your ingenuity to help us solve them. Never accept the status quo as anything but the baseline from which to improve. Don't be afraid to ask the dumb question. May I say, it's okay to look like a muppet. And as a frog, you can't be still. You need to move ahead, preferably in leaps and bounds. Second, embrace the change. Your tadpole tail will drop off, you will grow strange new limbs, and you will bid goodbye to the cool, familiar waters of the Torrens and hop off to find new challenges. You'll face the challenges of reconciling tradition with progress, the wisdom of the past with the innovations that you need to face a very different future. And you'll need to keep learning. As the current Matildas coach says, don't just be one day older, be one day better. But always remember where you came from, even if it's only to return for a drink once in a while. Which brings me to my third point, which is not about drinking, but about humility. Education gives you privilege. Don't abuse it. This institution has bestowed the privilege of education onto many generations before you. In fact, this very building that we're in Bonython Hall, was opened in 1936. That was right in the middle of the Great Depression, when many of the ordinary citizens of Adelaide were hunting rabbits in the hills, hoping to find dinner. No catch, no dinner. In the 1930s, that was my dad's life as a young boy whose own father had died after returning from war at the start of the Depression. I'm quoting Professor Michael Kimmel when I say, privilege is invisible to those who have it. You don't feel a tailwind as you move with the wind. It's easy to forget that there's a wind at all. But if you try hopping into it, you'll feel every breath. Education is one very powerful form of privilege. You may have others. Supportive families who will bail you out of any problems. Good health, rich forebears, clean water, white skin, maleness, never worrying about your pronouns, or whether you'll have enough food to eat. And to be clear, there is nothing wrong with being privileged. Many of you have worked hard for it. Maybe you feel you've earned it. Everyone in this room is privileged, almost by definition, by being here. But privilege can be a bad thing when you forget you have it and when you abuse it. Imbalance of power and imbalance of privilege are the source of discrimination, harassment, abuse, and inequity. So don't abuse your privilege. Stay humble and stay very conscious of the disparities that exist. Don't add to them in the name of your own success. Leave no frog behind. So today, May the 4th, is your day to hop onto dry land. And today, you can say, "It's over, Anakin. I have the high ground." And today, I can say, "May the 4th be with you." Thank you.
On behalf of the graduates and their families attending today's ceremony, I would like to thank Ms. Moydod for her stimulating and inspiring address. We are honoured that you have taken the time to join us on this special day to share with us your thoughts and experiences. Your words of encouragement and advice are greatly appreciated. They remind us that education places upon each of us an enduring responsibility to make the best possible use of our talents and to contribute to the betterment of society in whatever way we can. Please join me in once again thanking Ms. Moydod.
I will now receive the candidates for degrees. I call on the Vice-Chancellor and President.
Chancellor, I, Professor Peter Hoy, Vice-Chancellor and President of the University of Adelaide, certify to you and the whole university that the graduates who will be presented to you have all fulfilled the conditions prescribed for admission to the award for which they are so presented.
I, Catherine Branson, Chancellor of the University of Adelaide, by virtue of the power committed to me by the university, confirm that each graduate is admitted to the rank and privileges of a holder of the award in the University of Adelaide for which they are so presented. I call on the Faculty Honours Coordinator and Discipline Lead Physiology of the Faculty of Health and Medical Sciences, Professor Joanne Bowen, to present the graduates.
Chancellor, I, Faculty Honours Coordinator and Discipline Lead Physiology, Faculty of Health and Medical Sciences, Professor Joanne Bowen, present to you the graduates from the Faculty of Health and Medical Sciences. To the honours degree of Bachelor of Health and Medical Sciences, Oshada Adura Althawala. Hannah Marie Andrews. Benjamin Daniel Barry. Sophie Cammons. Sophie Therese Carles. Laura May Carr. Gracie Marie Demetto. Bailey Michael Deverell. Ryan Dorian. Benjamin Paul Elal. Emily Lee Jo Lin. Adelina Catharina Fernandez. Fenella Hall. Olivia Jane Haller. Vivian Heng. Joshua Thomas Hodgson. Jonathan Harry James. Sandra Jenker. Jessica Renee Judd. Paris Marie Collis. Emily Kovachev. Justin Lee Krieg. Daniel James Lewis. Weya Merrick Liao. Evangeline Alice Kissinyar-Lavelle. Simon Mandel. J.D. Mannion. Angus McNamara. Jane Serena Morfitt. Matilda Nichols. Takto ni Jima. Mithma Bishaka Palapitiya. Georgette Alexandra Radford. Andrea Jane Roth. Ryan Santos. Jackie Steele Scott. Alicia Jade Seal. Deeksha Sharma. Carmela Ann Saltis. Vienna Tran. Samuel G2. Priscilla Vokalos. Alexandra Stella Walls. Dawn Margaret Wellen. Connor Maxwell Douglas Williams. Alicia Williams. Ellen Evelyn Robinson Williams. And Kenny Curley Yu. Chancellor, this concludes the graduates from the Faculty of Health and Medical Sciences.
Chancellor, I, Executive Dean of the Faculty of Arts, Professor Jenny Shaw, present to you graduates from the Faculty of Arts. To the degree of Bachelor of Liberal Arts and Sciences, Edward Mario Russo. To the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Lucie Hélène Audrat. Janine Ojar. Abigail Rachel Beck. Antonia Caitlin Beveridge Naylor. Amelie Louise Bottrell. Alexandra Louise Burgess. Sophie Louisa Keon. Olivia Caputi. Layla Claire Clendon. Rebecca Louise Cooper. Selina Kaimet Kurek. Laura Costanzo. Jonathan Andrew Cooch. Liam Thomas Doody. Anna Ruth Fotheringham. Talia Giblot Ducret. Russell Hampton. Hannah Ann Violet Hobson. Davina Louise Hollowell. Jonathan Giles Owen. Alexander Yakshich. Courtney Elizabeth James. Flora Emily James. Qing Jiabo. Jessica Antoinette Jinman. Lawrence Michael Johnson. Alexander Robin Keith. Lily Sage Kennedy. Dallister Ophelia Jamie Kidd. Adam Daniel Lawler. Inez Veronique Leclésio. Emily Margaret Lewis. Isaiah Rohan Augustine Luke. James Scott Lion Green Rudland. Marina Anwar Jashin. Chloe May Martin. Keelia Rose McCone. Rose Lorraine Michael. Joel David Montgomery. Elise Molt Smith. Daniel Grant Moyle. Sophie Louise Pal. Oscar Harmon Patterson. Ruben Petrovsky. Aisha Gillian Pettigrew. Luca Patinato. Anton Kavanagh Fun. Soda Pisid. Michelle Leanne Samantha Roylands. Krishna Samtani. Stuart Eugene Sandow. Hannah Louise Scarman. Charlotte Elizabeth Sexton. Charles Bruce Shackelford. Jacob Matthew Sutherland. James Alexander Stubbs. Edward Hussein Summerfield. Tun Xin Yuan. Sun Longfun, Rachel Holly Van Weesup, Vicky Andrea West, Gordon Edward Wicks, Emily Jane Woodcock, Hannah Marie Woodlock, U Queenie, Yu Yao Nan, Zheng Xuan, and Chao Yi. To the degree of Bachelor of Arts Advanced, Judah Eli Cricelli. Shona K. Edwards. Charles John Gilchrist. Kate Ellen Harvey. Nicholas James Harriott. Grace May Howe. Jonathan William Listener. Jessie Michelle McKinnon. Also receiving the Diploma in Languages, Isabel Ethne Richards. Leah Shamshurin. Also receiving the Diploma in Languages, Isaac Samuel Tilly Swift. And Sarah Dawn Yanton. Chancellor, this concludes the graduates from the Faculty of Arts and for this ceremony.
Chancellor, every year the university presents university medals to acknowledge the most outstanding graduates in each faculty who have completed a University of Adelaide bachelor's degree with honours or bachelor's degree of at least 4 years duration. The university medals are awarded for them for their consistent, outstanding performance across the whole of their undergraduate studies. I, Professor Peter Hoy, Vice-Chancellor and President of the University of Adelaide, present to you recipients of the 2020 University Medal from the Faculty of Health and Medical Sciences. Sophie Kamens. Paris Marie Collis. Jackie Steele Scott. Samuel G. Tu.
I'm delighted now to present to you Shona K. Edwards, who was presented this morning with the Bachelor of Arts Advanced. Shona will now give the valedictory address on behalf of the cohort of graduates who are presented with their awards today.
Hello. So, it's quite funny how anticlimactic the final piece of assessment can be. Almost takes you by surprise when you realise you've finished your degree on a random Thursday afternoon. Last year, I looked at my classmates and it occurred to me that for many of us, it took us longer to finish our degree than we had once planned. We're all familiar with the joke, I'm 5 years into a 3-year degree. For many of us, we might feel self-conscious about it and feel that we're off kilter, out of the loop, and not sticking to schedule. But it isn't uncommon. We have such high standards for ourselves, and there's so much pressure now to have a 5-year plan, a 10-year plan, a career plan, not to mention a social life and a dating life. But each of us faces challenges in our which impact our studies, be it our health, in our personal lives, our financial circumstances, or a global pandemic. My big challenge was a life-changing health diagnosis I received 1 week into what I thought was going to be my final year. That was 3 years ago now. In fact, this month marks the anniversary of a major surgery for me. So I took a gap year again and retook some classes I had dropped again. After being out of study for so long, I was nervous to return to classes with students I didn't know well. I was new to using a walking stick and wheelchair, and I struggled with pain on top of the usual social anxiety. But anybody who's had to retake a class has felt that sense of being an outsider. Throughout experiences like this, it's the people we meet who are the essential factor in our ability to overcome disruption. Sometimes we can feel isolated as we struggle, but if we reach out to our loved ones, even to acquaintances and strangers, we'll find that the struggle is a shared one. As I speak, I'm sure your mind has turned to someone who has helped you through a particularly tough time, someone who you could vent to and commiserate with. The community I found here at university took me by surprise. When I was in crisis, it was the readiness to help and the strength of it that kept my head above water. So the piece of parchment that we received today cannot reflect all of our university experience. From the things we've learnt throughout our time here, the skills we've honed, and the people we've met. One of the biggest lessons from the past year for all of us has been to adapt. Often the disruptions to your degree are outside of your control, and in the face of those difficulties, as overwhelming as the past year has been, we have learnt acceptance. None of us can plan for all eventualities. When your back is against the wall and the clock is ticking down, remind yourself, all we can do is the best we can in this moment, and eventually a series of moments will be the steps towards our goals. Those moments led us here. What is within our control is the choice whether to speak with kindness, the choice whether to extend a hand in support, and the choice of who we share our lives with. Community is built from the ground up and from the smallest of actions. So we might not be able to control what happens to us, but we can control how we choose to react to it and to meet challenges with dignity and bravery when we know we don't meet them alone. None of us will forget the strangeness of the past year, but we should also not forget that none of it stopped us from being here today. You got the work done and you pulled through. You should be so proud of yourselves. I'm proud of us. So congratulations, graduates.
Thank you, Shona. It now gives me great pleasure to congratulate as a cohort all of the graduates here today. Be proud of what you've achieved. And as has been mentioned to you, remember those who supported you along the way. It will be your family, your friends, your colleagues, and I'm sure also the fine staff of this university. I wish you every success as you enter this new and exciting stage of your life's journey. As graduates of the University of Adelaide, you also become not only its alumni, but its ambassadors. Over the years, the alumni of this university have made enormous contributions to communities not only in this country, but all around the world. You join this group of more than 147,000 alumni today. Our alumni are located in more than 134 countries of the world. We have 17 global alumni networks, and 8 of those are international networks. I hope you'll give thought to whether you might join one of those alumni networks. I now thank again the Mace Bearer Samuel and our valedictorian Shona, and all who assisted in organising and the running of today's ceremony. I now ask all of the graduates if you would remain seated while I invite all of our guests who comfortably can to stand and join with me in once again congratulating our graduates. Would the audience please remain standing? And I ask the graduates to now stand for the academic recession. Once the academic recession has left the hall, we ask our guests to remain at their seats until the staff of the university assist them to leave. I now declare this congregation adjourned.